Well, first of all, what was your take on the crowd tonight and everything that was discussed?
I thought it was great. It was a really, really smart audience. They were very engaged. They were prepared, and that's what I like to see. A lot of times, these audiences can come and they kind of want to have a lot of answers to a lot of elementary questions. And if you're at that point, you might almost be too late. But for the 75 or 100 people that were here, they came ready. They had notes. They had good, solid questions that were intelligent, and that lets me know that they're studied and well read and prepared. And that's what this industry is going to need to be successful this year.
This is a really, really big business opportunity. There's no two ways to say this. As you said, it's almost like a license to print money.
It's not almost, it is.
Company?
Canada Group is currently operating with consulting agreements and clients, but we have operational and consulting agreements in 11 different states right now.
Fantastic. Fantastic. You're really on the cutting edge of this.
Yeah, we've been in this industry a long time, working professionally, bringing a polished approach to how we do our business and how we approach our clients and how we approach the industry. And we're working real hard to change that stigma that it's been that it's had for many, many years.
Oh, sure. Your talk was about Wall Street to Green Street, or Green Street to Wall Street.
Yes.
Describe Green Street. What is Green Street today?
Yeah, Green Street is representative these days of the modern, the contemporary entrepreneur. I call them entrepreneurs. It's the changing of the old guard. And the old guard was very, very, very clandestine, very untrusting of Wall Street, and understandably so, and for good reasons. Now there is a new generation of entrepreneurs, and they are, young and smart and ambitious, and they possess business acumen, and they understand what they don't understand. They know what they don't know, I guess. Let's just say, and they know that they're going to need Wall Street to come in, and they know that they're going to need some high-level advice and consulting to help kind of create smart, strategic businesses that'll be successful in this industry. So that's what I mean by Green Street. It's the opposite of Wall Street. It's how we've operated, but without regulation, without rules and laws. I mean, we've figured out how to do, transportation and growing and packaging and distribution and everything that every other industry has without any rules. So Green Street operates on its own. You could just maybe give a permission slip and everything would be easier.
Yeah.
But to create commerce and infrastructure and committees and policy and guidelines, it's going to take this hybrid blend of forging traditional business practices with Green Street experience in order for this industry to really be successful.
Well, here in Pittsburgh, we're known as a city of collaboration, and so it sounds like within the industry, a lot of collaboration is super important.
More important than I can even imagine. It's very bipartisan. It should remain that way. This is something that can positively affect everybody, whether you're about personal liberties or state rights. You can both get on board with it from a collaboration standpoint. It's only going to do more good. It's only going to create commerce and create taxes and create jobs and make people healthier and wealthier and more comfortable. And there's only going to be a few that won't like it. Big Pharma won't like it until they get a big piece of it, and Big Tobacco the same, but they're a little bit more prepared, I feel.
Right. And so how are we with the banks coming on board too?
Slowly but surely. It's trying to do a U-turn in a battleship.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time, but if everybody, if it happened that quickly, the industry would probably fail and fall out from under itself, I think.
Well, you said a couple of things that are really interesting, like this is an industry that could easily grow too fast for itself.
Yes.
You really have to watch the control the growth.
Yeah, California is a good example of that in a lot of ways. I mean, there's a mentality where if you don't give enough structure and enough guidelines and enough rules at first, we're going to figure out our own. And with that being said, it happens very, very quickly when you start wanting to figure things out on your own. You do what works for you, and you keep doing it that way. And the same thing would go on the other side, is if you don't have that, and you do put rules into place, and you do put some policies and some structure and some guidelines, it can help create smarter business sooner. So when California not having that, we tend to, between silicone and steroids, we kind of just inject that into the model of whatever it is we're doing, and it accelerates very quickly. And if it's on track to do well, that's great. If it's not, it's bad. If you're off by inches at launch, you'll be off by miles in orbit.
Yeah.
And that's how we look at approaching this industry, especially with opportunities.
Have you found this industry to be more transparent in some ways than the traditional businesses?
No. No. Very clandestine. The genesis and the nature of the industry is to be clandestine and respected terms of confidentiality. Much like HIPAA would for its patients. The growers take their recipes and their IP and their models and their practices. They treat them with the same level of confidence and that a mad scientist might with some of his recipes, or a confectionist might with their recipes.
Interesting.
And that's kind of where it is. Yes. That being said, though, because they operate that way, it's part of our ethos at Canna Group that we operate in full transparency. We disclose not just all of our fees, but how we do what we do, why we do what we do. It's that imperative that people start to understand how to be successful and why it's okay to do things a certain way. That because it's cannabis, it can work, and if you're transparent, you educate, and if you educate, you're going to stimulate a much more successful business.
It's fantastic. We're doing great work.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Take care.
Appreciate it.